The place where a person is hurt the most is often where they are supposed to feel the safest. I am a 28-year-old woman, 170 centimeters tall, and weighing around 95 kilograms. I have 4 brothers, and both of my parents have been overweight for most of our lives. We grew up in a middle-class Asian family where we were almost never allowed to play outside. Our childhood was largely spent studying, eating a lot, and having little to no physical activity. All 5 of us have dieted at different points in our lives and managed to lose weight to varying degrees. When I was 14, I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, a condition that makes losing weight extremely difficult. Despite this, between the ages of 21 and 24, I managed to lose around 30 kilograms through extreme dieting and intense exercise. But I also developed an eating disorder during that time. Around the same period, my family forced me into a marriage against my will. As I had expected, the marriage was abusive and deeply distressing. During that time, I became pregnant but lost the baby at around 4 months. This left me both physically and emotionally devastated. Eventually, I filed for divorce and was brought back to my family home. While trying to recover, I regained all the weight I had lost. I have recently remarried and am now trying to lose weight in a healthier way through strength, training, and a calorie deficit. However, due to PCOS and other health issues, the process has been extremely challenging. I was also recently diagnosed with adenomyosis, a very painful condition that developed after a traumatic miscarriage. Last week, I visited my parents. While looking for clothes in the closet, we were talking about how my sister-in-law's family had gifted her beautiful outfits for her marriage, which happened around the same time as my second marriage. My mother took this as a personal attack and snapped at me. She said, "We didn't buy you nice things because you're too fat. Women like your sister-in-law can wear those clothes for years, but yours won't fit after a year or 2. Nice things are for fit people." I am already very resentful toward my parents for forcing me into an abusive marriage, and it takes a lot of self-control for me to continue treating them well. Her comment triggered something in me. I told her that the reason all of us have struggled with weight is because of her, that unhealthy parents raise children with unhealthy habits, and that our upbringing played a major role in this. I also said that my PCOS, my adenomyosis, and the fact that my life has been so much more difficult compared to my peers are, in part, her fault. She started crying and said things like, "Do you want us to die? We've done so much for you, and you're always ungrateful. Everyone in my family thinks I crossed the line. I didn't speak to her until we left." I cried the entire way home. Now I feel like I don't want to go back, and like I no longer have a family or home. They expect me to apologize. In short, my mother told me that I don't deserve nice things because I'm overweight, and I told her that my weight and health issues are at least partly her fault.
From a therapist's perspective, this woman is not simply experiencing a momentary argument. She is going through a breaking point where layers of psychological burden accumulated since childhood are being triggered. At the core of such situations often lies the developmental environment one was raised in. Growing up with restricted physical activity, normalized unhealthy eating habits, and exposure to negative messages about the body deeply shapes both body image and self-worth. When parental love and acceptance are tied to conditions such as appearance, weight, or success, it often leads to deeply rooted feelings of inadequacy. Her experiences go far beyond weight. Forced marriage, abuse, pregnancy loss, and chronic health conditions are examples of what psychology defines as cumulative trauma. Over time, such experiences make the nervous system more sensitive, leaving the individual more prone to emotional triggering. This is why a single comment from her mother can bring past wounds rushing back to the surface. While her reaction may appear intense or disproportionate from the outside, it is not merely a response to the present moment, but an effluve of years of suppressed anger, hurt, and injustice. The impact of this often manifests in three main areas of life: difficulties in relationships, an unhealthy relationship with the body, and a distorted sense of self. The individual may struggle to set boundaries or, conversely, develop overly rigid ones, may view their body as a constant battleground, and often feel that nothing they do is ever enough. Over time, this creates an exhausting cycle, both mentally and physically. The healing process begins here, not as a single step, but as a gradual journey of awareness and reconstruction. It starts with recognizing that what happened in the past was not her fault, while also accepting that the responsibility for healing now lies with her. Learning to identify and express emotions instead of suppressing them, questioning deeply rooted negative beliefs, establishing healthy boundaries, especially with family, and building a more compassionate relationship with the body are all essential parts of this process. In many cases, seeking professional support, particularly through trauma-focused therapies, can help process past experiences in a healthier and more sustainable way. Most importantly, healing does not begin when others change, but when the individual creates a new sense of balance within herself. This story feels familiar because it reflects experiences many people carry in different forms. If you want to better understand the psychological dynamics behind real-life stories like this and gain deeper insight into human behavior, make sure to follow along so you don't miss similar stories.